join us. We got Fritzy here. And the other one is somewhere there running around losing their minds earlier. So, okay, this is another Tartarian energy reading. Maybe not what you would normally expect. Yeah, we're going to take a different angle with all of this. And Fragmented Human. I guess under my eye, of course. It wasn't like that before I started. Figures. Jeez, let me get this out of my eye. I'll be back. Oh, it was fine before. Jeez. Yeah, no surprise there. Okay, so Fragmented Human and Wildflower channeling fine. Feel the Garthian Wildflower energies. So that's something different. So the Tartarian energy. Before I go into that, yeah, this because of good. Just because. I'll just do a quick update. If anything works here, it's avatar.com in 5 sessions. The scheduler here at shop. I'm on the 18th still. Same situation here. Webinar tomorrow, social network, and behind the scenes. Okay. Just had to get that out of there. So just so Tartarian energy. So there's been a lot or some talk about like the elites, the power elite that's really wealthy, running the world. And there is a truth to that, yes. And I don't know, this whole thing about them getting in a portal and leaving and all that. I mean, whatever. However you want to perceive it. When it comes down to, I mean, this has been going on forever, though. It comes down to the individual, the people that are here. It's always been that way. That how much power a person truly has, they're not always aware of how much power they have. Now, some people feel like they got no power because you're on some kind of distorted timeline. Join the club. We're on a timeline where you feel like you have no power. You're here for certain reasons. You're here for a reason. It's always going to make itself clear. But there are those that do have power that can manifest very easily. There are common people that have power. They can manifest anything they want practically. They might not be good enough for them, but you call them, there are elites in the power level, like billionaires, trillionaires, whatever. There's also the common people here, which I believe those numbers are outdo any elite energy. They're actually stronger. And they're the ones that keep the vibration here the way it is because they're going through their stuff. And you'd be surprised how many powerful people here are just your common people or common man that have a lot of just energy that can do a lot of stuff. Which goes into this Tartarian situation. It's like, which just some that have enough power they can distort history. There's enough of them that can do it. It's not just the wealthy that's doing it. It's a common man too. They've been doing it forever. Now, how do you find these common people is another story. But seriously, it's when the common people too. It's like different elite energies. You have your superpowers that have money and they're hidden. And you also have your common man. A lot of them can be poor, live on the streets. Some of them can be homeless people, as far as you know. So that's what it goes into the fragmented human. Is it's out there more than you might realize. It's in different forms. This has been going on for thousands and thousands of years. Maybe longer than that, but we'll just use that. So, Yeah, you look at the Wall Street people running the world and all that, but then again, you might have a homeless person messing with reality also. So there's a little bit of everything going on here. So, check some. Okay. So it's just something to think about. I mean, none of this is actually new. It's just probably not mentioned very often or never at all. So you talk about elites going through portals all day long. Are there a bunch of homeless people that run the world walking through that portal? Probably not. So who really has the power here? I mean, some of the wealthy people, yes, but also your common folk, whoever they might be. It doesn't mean it's everybody, but there are certain groups. And not like they're having this like elitist meeting or anything like that. And again, you never know. It could be the birthday party, the end all birthday party, as far as we know. But you never really know. I mean, they're just as common as anybody else. But some, yeah, it doesn't mean they have to have the ability to manifest like a fancy car or anything like that. It could be just some, but they have a way of manifesting whatever it is. They can manifest pain, torture themselves, but also it's like you go around, you want alien connections, you want your aliens, you want the ships to land, but then you have people here that don't want nothing to do with it, and they can actually alter that timeline where it doesn't happen. And these are common people. And it's not just the Matrix people there's that, but there's also like your common people, elite energy that's out there. So I mean, like I say, this is probably not nothing new. It's just something I've been more connected to recently, I believe goes into the Tartarian energy. So you get your common people that don't want any of that stuff, have enough power in their energy to shift the timelines where nothing makes any sense. It's not just the wealthy people doing it though. It's them, but it's also the common people are distorting reality. That's why nothing makes sense of the past. It's all hidden. It's all distorted. It's all this and that and whatever. So, yeah. There's also some people that are going through their spiritual development or awakening that don't feel like they're part of reality. You're here, you're living on the world, you're physical, but you don't feel like you're on the timeline that everyone else is on. That one's not always going to make itself clear. Yeah, but you're here to tell your story when the time is right. I'm on that timeline too, where you feel like you're here, but you're not part of the collective. You're not kind of like an outsider, not part of the normal life. The checklist of life. You're not part of that. I'm not part of that. Never have been. That's what makes it hard. Some people are. They can manifest. Some of us are just on the outskirts of it. But because we have a certain mission to tell, a certain information for reality. You can say the common man, Illuminati people, they're kind of like Illuminati. You'd be surprised how the common man, how powerful the common man truly is. Of course, yeah, it's like if you have a powerful mental power that can just shift reality, and I don't think they're aware of it most of the time. I mean, they might be aware of it, but they're so put into their convoluted, stress of the day and all that. They don't really, are aware of it. So they are, but they aren't. So anyway. Okay, all right. We'll get to do the Tartarian energies. Again, a little bit more of what I mentioned, the fragmented human energy. Basically, we'll just leave that. We'll just leave it where what needs to come through on that. And the wildflower energies, Agarthian frequencies, energies of the giants. So the wildflower energies, I know it's not part of the drama stuff and all that, but like valleys of land, of flower, regions, whatever you want to call it. There are giants in those areas. There can be, obviously in the fourth dimension. But if you're, I believe if you're out there long enough, you can tap into their energies. Um, doesn't mean they're going to fully come into our reality just yet. Well, the idea, well, we come here to dissect reality, to bring the truths that are not easy. That's another reason why feel like I'm kind of like in the back end of all of this. The spiritual groups have been doing this for a long time. I'm kind of shadow banned on all levels because the collective isn't ready for this stuff. Some people are, but the main collective's not ready for anything. It's like, here's your red pill, and the collective's like, I don't think so. They spit it out. I think that's another reason I'm hit by YouTube. I'm hit by everything. It's not about me, but it's like, I'm just in the shadows for good reason. I'm not here for entertainment purposes. We're here to shift reality. It's just, anyway. So when humanity is ready, things will change. It's not ready yet. I'm not sure when humanity is ever going to be ready for much of anything. I mean, some people are going to be ready, yes, but the mass majority, it's hard to say. Yeah, because the mass majority, they get to a certain level, like they get a comfort zone, and they hit pause. So, like, you got what you want. You got your relationship, you have your spiritual guidance, but you're not really evolving, but you feel like you're okay where you are. They hit pause and they don't evolve at all. They kind of coast with it for a long time. Some do that, not everybody. There might be a bigger number there. I'm not going to go into that. So, all right, they might be growing in some form, but they're not really moving the dimensions. Not really. Some might be, but there's a lot of freezing. There's a lot of timelines that freeze though. So, okay, all right. Blessings. All right, here we go. Greetings. We are Tartarian frequencies. There is many of us. Yes, we are also Atlantean energies. We are even Lemurian. We are a mixture of all. Well, we are Asian. We are everything. We are American. Much of our timelines were shifted into another Earth reality. We are still here. Much of our energies are in the tech regions, in the tech world. You can say part of our energies are connected to the secret space program, but we're not sure how that's going to help you in this reality. Some of the aerospace energies, some of us are connected to that. Yes, we are hidden, secret. In the past it was much different. In your common world now, yes, humans don't. You can't actually hit, as you say, the gas and go into more of your future. It doesn't have to be. I mean, no one has a complete control over your reality, but there are individuals here that have a power of keeping things slow. Yes, it's not always of your elitists. There's more to it. Is your human collective. Your human collective always has the power to break free. It's always had that. But if there's enough of your human collective to keep things as they are, they will stay. Because even astral will allow it to shift. But if the human collective says no, the astral kind of like obeys it. The astral has its own direction, its own timelines. It does its own thing. So the human collective and the astral kind of go against each other. They work with each other. They do all kinds of things. Astral, they do compromise. They do come together, but not always. Sometimes the astral is more advanced. Sometimes the astral keeps everything hidden. It's a little bit kind of like a war in the heavens. Because some beings from your world, they're human, go into your astral world and cause some major havoc because they don't want their world to evolve until they get their lives straight. And that might take 10, 20 years. So your whole world can be waiting for a couple of people to evolve. I know it sounds a little convoluted there, but when you look at the world, if it evolves too fast and certain people are not evolving, that can cause some problems. Or they might leave this reality and go somewhere else, but not everybody is leaving. Many are, but not everyone. So you'd be surprised how many a few can actually slow things down. That might sound a little bit unbelievable at this moment, but as you get used to the frequencies, it might not be all that. It might not all be that surprising. There's a lot your human race is still going to get used to. Now you're still evolving. I mean, you on a spiritual level can do whatever you want. But as for the world collective, if it's going to start going into space and connected to other planets, obviously it slowed a lot of that down for many reasons. So you can always go as advanced as you want to individually. But as a collective, it finds ways of going backwards, as you can see. It's not just because you're elite. The elite only have so much power there. It's mostly your human collective that agreed upon it. Doesn't mean you're part of those agreements. You're like, what are you waiting for? Let's move it. And that's where you might feel some aggravation within your own self. Within the human collective, it's like, man, why aren't the people just getting going? They just won't do it. It's like the collective can turn into like old people, very stubborn. And these can be young people acting like old people. It's like, we have authority here. We can do whatever we want. And there is some of that also. I don't believe you hear much about that. There is seniority here. The souls that have incarnated here the most usually have the most seniority. That sounds a little strange also for some of you. But I believe when you start diving into it, it makes a little bit more sense. Well, the seniority energy, meaning that it's their family line. The family line has authority here because it's been here so long. It's what's done for the world. And that might make more sense to some of you. Yes, it sounds like a corporation, but technically it is. And some of you have been trying to heal those timelines, those family lines. I feel, even if you feel like that doesn't even make any sense, they still use it as a way of distorting your timelines to keep you from evolving. So it's like you're going backstage of your world and seeing how everything works. It might take some time to adapt, to understand this. Even if you feel like the families that feel like they have authority over your world, seniority here, even if you feel like that makes no sense, to them, they use it against everyone else. And it works sometimes, not always. So, yeah, these ancient families that are here, some of them are of the ruling elite, very wealthy, but not all of them. Some of them are your common man. There's more of your common man than your wealthy man. And your common man is very powerful, as you can see. So just let that sink in for a little bit. Everyone's going to see it differently because you all deal with it differently. Greetings to you. We are the Wearing Felines. Greetings. Yes, your human race. This doesn't go for everyone, but many, yes, have a stubborn energy around them. Because they have difficulties that have not quite healed yet. Some are extremely bitter here for various different reasons. There is war. The wars of your recent wars, World War I, World War II, those energies are still here. South America has a lot of wounds there. A lot of your Nazi energy went there. And your Nazis are still here. And some of you can actually feel it. Germany is still going through a lot of actually hell within itself, still healing its inner self. Also, Switzerland, all countries to a certain degree are still fighting the war. Those that got affected by the recent wars, and of course, the manipulations are showing themselves. It's just that many of you are ready to see whatever it is. If it's an alien being or Illuminati being or a creature being, yes. But your numbers are small compared to the rest of the collective. The rest of the collective wants to learn from a human perspective. It wants to heal the world, but through its own problems. So humans take on a lot of difficulties within their family line too. But then again, they don't always heal. They feel like they are, but they aren't. They go from one drama problem to another. And so a lot of Anunnaki, a lot of worlds like yours don't really last very long. They sort of short out. They go through so much stress the planet can't handle it anymore. The planet just goes away, it disappears. And those beings they get fragmented, they're not healed, sometimes they're worse, and they go to other planets. So here, this world is designed to handle a lot of problems. Yes, humans seem to find a way to, not all humans, but many find a way to have an issue. And they go on and on. Well, it's the master. It's like if you're a master of problems, you bring as much problems as you can. Some actually learn how to solve it, and then basically, you wonder why you come here. Is this not to solve the world's problems, to solve your own problems, solve the problems of others? It might not be everything. It could be just one problem is keeping a person from that keeps a person to incarnate all the time. But also, you can solve an issue for a person that can finally, not have to incarnate all the time. They can actually leave the world. One word can get you to leave the planet. One word. It's like, I heard that word. I was ready to hear it, and now I can leave the world. I don't need this anymore. Just like that. So, it all depends on what the soul is ready. Of course, some of you are here for the long haul. Well, some of you are doing inner work with the planet, and it's not always clear. You don't have to have fancy signs outside or, websites or anything, but you're working within the earth, and you need your silence to do so. Yes, it's not easy having a mission life where your mission is the earth, and that's your relationship. It's like you're on a train that never has a stop. You can't just stop and go live like everyone else. You're on that train forever until your mission is done. Well, sometimes you've tried to have a family and all that in previous lifetimes and help the earth, and it was impossible to juggle both. So we've had Native American lifetimes where you tried and you did work with the earth, but it still wasn't enough. And now the world's got more complicated due to technology. One of the reasons why many of you have like a single lifetime, you're not part of the collective, it has to do with the technology on the world. It's like you come here single, very few friends to heal the earth's frequency. It's just the way it works. Like it's almost like your energy. We don't want to use this term, but it's kind of like you're a tool or a jack of all trades. You're here to shift the vibrations. Just here, on a spiritual mission. Not everybody can handle a spiritual mission life where you are completely disconnected from the rest of the world. And yes, you're working on a way that does not always make sense to the rest of the public, but it's not supposed to. Blessings. Greetings to you. We are the Flower Collective. We are multi-dimensional beings. We are also time travelers. We're also comedians at times. Not always. We don't always have the funniest jokes. But some of our jokes can be a little bit sarcastic. It's not easy being beautiful. When you're a flower frequency, you send out energies to the universe, the world. Sometimes other flowers can be jealous of you. Who can be the most beautiful? It's not an easy task. The earth, it just bring out the earth's beauty, the soul of the earth. So many souls incarnate as flower beings to just allow their exterior self to come out, but also the interior. It heals a lot of the inner self too. But you'd be surprised how many flower beings still have lots of work to do with themselves. It's like they feel like I can accomplish everything with my looks. And then they find out that's not true. But sometimes it works. You'd be surprised how many humans around your world are living off their looks right now. That doesn't mean all of them are flower people, but they've had some kind of psychedelic experience with one of them at least. One thing about the flower collectives, yes, we're known to procreate a lot, create large families, and it can be very addicting. You're just pollinating the planet, pollinating each other, growing. And it can be confusing when you're here as a human. Because you feel like you're here to do the same thing, and some do it. That's why they have 12 children, or 20 for that matter, which is very difficult. Like the males usually are known to do that, but usually have different partners with that. Some of them have flower connections, some of them have reptilian connections with that. It feels like it works on all realities, but worlds do need to keep themselves populated. It might not be the most justified people, but they keep it populated. Though. You might not like what happened, but it keeps the world populated because it needs the frequency of that soul. So yes, it gets kind of weird. Yes, when you feels like yes, you have this. Usually, it's a male energy that's having all these relationships, and then one child after the other is found, but brought into the world, but that frequency of that child was necessary to bring in here. So you had to get him here somehow because the world needs that frequency of that soul. And even an abortion doesn't always work with souls like that. It all depends. Either way, souls find their way into the world to pollinate the Earth's frequency. So yeah, there might be abortion energies, and sometimes that's justified. You'd be surprised. It's controversial, but sometimes it's justified, sometimes it's not. It's a war. World has a lot of. It doesn't want to be healed fully just yet. There's so much mystery. Some of your souls can incarnate here, and the mysteries are gone. That one day that will happen. You need your mysteries now to figure yourselves out. Yes, it's complicated there. But you're basically going to, yes, some of you in your spiritual direction are going to come up with some crazy theories. And those theories will go into the public, the mainstream. It needs to hear it every once in a while. Yes, like you're taught to the fetus, the soul is going to be incarnated. And, does that soul need to be here or not? That gets real weird. But you're going to understand how souls are being brought into this world, what the souls go through before they incarnate here. As that part of the blockage will slowly be healed. So that's going to be, just more psychic. It won't come into a huge abundance on the human collective just yet. But eventually your human collective, it will be, it's slow. The world takes its time, as you can see. So, for now, at least. Blessings.